Okay, so we have bet on yourself if you can, but you better make sure you can bet on yourself, because that one hurts if you mess that one up. Then you go to the bank. A bank is going to be roughly how long if you can fit in their sweet spot, which is about, the size of a penny maybe. How long does it typically take to go through there?
A bank today? I have no idea. I mean, it was PPP. It was like 2 hours. Now I mean, Casey, you're having as many conversations as I am. I mean, I think some of that credit that they're going to be extending is really going to tighten up. And you need to bring cash to the table. You need great operating records. You need real profitability. You need to show cash flow and potentially have some sort of asset like real estate that you can lend against.
Time wise, I would say probably 6 weeks, like at the minimum, if you're going there, probably longer for a traditional bank.
Yeah, I was thinking 60, 90 days. So, okay, 6 weeks would be faster than I thought. Okay, so about that 6 weeks, 60, 90 days. But you better make sure that you have it. Okay, so we can't fund it ourselves. We don't have friends and family. We can't get the bank loan. We don't qualify for PPP. So, for example, that construction company that you're talking about, they probably didn't have too terribly much, because if you're in 2019 without a ton of employees, that PPP wasn't the best ideal for you. Okay, so we've exhausted those. Now what? What's my next look? What's my next option?
Well, I think it depends on your industry, right? Yep. So if you're a tech company, there's always someone who will, there's angels, right? And you're going to have to kind of get networked into that group. And again, that still may not be fast, because an angel is, someone, their net worth's in the, low millions, maybe significantly more, but they're investing 25, 50, 100 grand in deals. So angels are one, but they're looking for a pretty large return. They're not looking for a lifestyle business or just simply a cash flow business. There are those people out there. So people who think I might be in the type of business that requires outside equity investment need to be cultivating a pipeline of potential investors over time. If you're not in tech and angel investment doesn't make sense, you need to be thinking, okay, what other types of loans could I get? And there are a host of people who provide bridge loans, and these can be anywhere from 3 to 18 to 24, sometimes 36 months. And they're usually secured against just the health of the business or cash flow, right? And they're usually going to have priority there. It's going to be more expensive money, right? You're not talking like 8% money. You're talking more expensive than that. These types of people usually they're really good companies, and they're going to fund your growth.
And that's one could expect probably in the old days. I don't know if it's still there, but 18, 24% for those bridge loans. Is that still relevant? Or
I mean, it could be anywhere. Casey, what do you think? 11%?
Yeah, it can go. Yeah, I mean, you're talking
24.
double digits, anywhere from low teens to higher, depending on what your certain cases or your use cases.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And then for the VC companies right now, everything that I'm getting feet on the street, the VC companies, the private equity companies, they're investing in their current portfolio to make sure those companies are shored up and able to see it through. And there's very few, from what I understand, you guys can push back on me, or that my listeners can yell at me, but from what I understand, there's not a lot of net new tranches going out there of funds. So that could potentially eliminate that. So, okay, we can't do that. We're not, oh, by the way, if we do go the VC or the private equity, know your exit strategy. What's that thing look like? How can you maximize that exit? Because you got to look at your finances. Do you have a machine? What's your management team look like? There's so much that goes into that. So really know what's that exit. What's the management team? The more that the company relies on you, the less valuable your company is. If you are the salesperson, if you're the sales team, the marketing team, and you're driving all the revenue, you take another hit. So think through all of these as you're doing this. Any comments on that, gentlemen?
Pandora's box for us.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right. So then I can't do that. Now we can go to, is that where we're creative, and now we're looking at what you're doing with the asset based or the factoring base. So what should people look for as they look at this type of lending? How do I vet the alternatives? What should I look for? What are the things that can really hurt me if I don't pay attention?
Casey, why don't you take that one?
I think a lot of things are, when you're looking at it, as you said, first and foremost, right, you're going to look at the rates, right? It's everything's money, right? So your cost of capital, how can I get that in the best sense for me? The fine print of any contract is going to be key, right? There's a lot of folks that won't read, different accelerators. There's different triggering events of, say, this may speed up or cost more. I think really knowing your contract terms and what that has on and the effect of the business. We try to be as upfront of, hey, here's the path you're going down, right? For example, like we require a personal guarantee from the business owner. So, hey, we say that usually on the first call, like, hey, if this isn't for you, this is a no-go for us, right? And so you got to be bought in. So if you haven't heard these things, kind of being informed that. So, those are kind of two obvious ones that come to mind. Adam, you have things that.
Yeah, I'll give you an example of some of the fine print that Casey talks about. Some of this is something that people don't know how it works, and they need to look. I mean, we'll take calls with people and just understand their situation and kind of give them some advice, even if we don't work with them. But they need to understand, let's say you're in any sort of debt facility, you need to understand how the cash works, how long you have it, what, to Casey's point, are the penalties. So in our world, if a receivable ages past 90 days, most groups will say, all right, basically they require you to recourse out, right? So you no longer have that money. You've got to pay that money back.